#WeAreMovieClub.
Hey there, welcome to WeAreMovieClub. I'm Cameron, and today is Red vs. Blue Season 5. The short sell on this one is that the teams investigate and confront the conspiracy lurking in everything with what's going on, with the idea that Red and Blue are the same, them both talking to Vic, and who the aliens and O'Malley have been talking with. I know this isn't the last season, but this is the last season for Blood Gulch, so keep that in mind. Once again, my love it for this one is body jumping. I think that's one of the most fun things that Rooster Teeth has done ever, and I love the way they use the guy walking around to Zoom, and I love the way they set it up in general to do the different characters with O'Malley. It's very promising for future aspects in certain cases. I hate it this time, as much as I actually do like the character. I think Sister really seems like it was 5 years of pent-up rage of people thinking Griff was yellow. So they put a yellow character in specifically to make fun of all those people. And I think it's a joke that just kind of went awry because they weren't used to having girls as characters to write about. So they ended up making guy jokes about girls, so she was kind of the weird slutty character, and like the joke is that she was gross. I don't know how I feel about that. I just have mixed feelings about her character use. On the counterpoint of women's rights here, MVP for this one was definitely Tex. She came back and brought it all together, and definitely was the one manipulating the scene in general. Tucker played a big part in that too, but when it came down to it, Tex was definitely the one that had the power and definitely had the forethought to take on the task at hand. And if you keep watching the series, you'll definitely see why that is. But let's blast off the categories.
Aesthetics.
I definitely had to bump it up here. We got a lot of the same stuff we saw in season 3 and 4 because we got the Halo 2 assets. They kept using different things and making an excuse to make them fit together. But they definitely started working with importing non-Halo game assets, like the Pelican that comes in is just a picture that they animated into it. So they started recognizing that they needed something a little bit extra to really make the show pop aesthetically. So big points there. I'm glad that they saw it, and they gave us a lot of the same good scenes otherwise. Aesthetics gets an 80.
Character development.
I feel like the exposition that they give for this definitely does a lot of character development. We definitely see Tex come along. We see what's going on with her in her brain, how she has perceived all this up to this point. We see the same thing from Wyoming. We get ideas from Flowers and the aliens and what this has really all been about. And without getting too much on the red and blue situation, we get a hell of a lot of development on what's happening outside the planet in general and the universe, and what's happening with the war against the aliens, and slight references to Master Chief, Halo Combat Evolved, that universe as well. Character development gets an 85.
Storyline.
Now, given all the development I just talked about, I was kind of knocked away by the story. The ultimate story, like that's what's actually happening. That's what was hidden behind all this conspiracy, even though Church was somehow part of it. By the perspective that we've got at this point. It's super interesting to see what they did with it and how they wrapped this up. And they really put a good end to this Blood Gulch Chronicles. Storyline gets a 90.
Compulsion.
This was a good mix of story and humor. We got a little bit more of season 3, not quite as funny, but it was more important to have a good story down. I think they definitely nailed that. They pieced it all together. They gave us something to end on so that if Rooster Teeth was done with Red vs. Blue at that point, it could have ended on a good note, and I think it almost did. I think if Strangerhood had taken off, they may not have continued on with this, but it's a good product, and I'm glad they kept on with it. Even though the Blood Gulch Chronicles is over, Compulsion gets a 92. After all of that, we get an average of 86.75. Before I jump into my wrap-up review, I've got to mention there is a bridging story between seasons 5 and 6. It's called Recovery 1. If you have the discs, it's on your Blood Gulch Chronicles bonus disc. I think it's technically attached to season 5 if you're dealing with it like that. But it's called Recovery 1, and it introduces a couple characters that we haven't met yet, and builds up to what kicks off in season 6. So it does happen at least simultaneously, not after season 5, but before season 6. But for my wrap-up review, I've got to say, I'm so happy we got to this point, and I'm just so glad we got to go on this journey together. Once again, this was a review for #WeAreMovieClub. This week was my pick. Next week's pick is Charlie.
Down Periscope.
His channel and search the hashtag to see everything that we've been up to in the past. Reach out to us at WeAreMovieClub at the Twitters and let us know if you want to get involved, do your own review, include the hashtag, and we'll see you around. That's it for me. I'm Cameron. Thanks for watching.
Be sure to go check out all the fine folks that are involved in this video. Thanks for watching.